and they work them out. Be sure we're going to answer all the questions. But please, I confirm the people whose questions I approved. Please follow the structure. Be sure we are going to try to satisfy everybody and cover to all the important spheres. Thank you so much, and please be informed we have some time limits. So I'd like to introduce you the head of Russian Embassy right now, Mr. Roman, and I will moderate the discussion now.
We are starting, right? Shurat करेंगे, मतलब श्री गणेश करेंगे. Thora Ganesh Chaturthi in advance. Super. Sit here, such an odd view, ladies and gentlemen, and friends from media, a lot of familiar faces, and there are a lot of newcomers to the Russian Embassy. We would like to welcome everyone here. Apka Hardik Swagat. It's a long time we are continuing our practice of regular press briefings. If you remember, last year we did in the same format, along with our good colleague and friend of ours, Mr. Evgeny Gliva. We have, as Peter specified, we have received a lot of questions regarding the current dynamics in Russia-India relations and the kind of global dynamics. And a lot of, I should admit, coinciding questions. That's why we were trying to generalize them. But anyway, we will try to cover all the important topics interested to you so that everyone could benefit from our interaction. So, one of the general points which many of you have made in sending question to us was the our general assessment of the current Russia-India cooperation. And I would like to make a comment just responding to this particular question which was of interest to many of you. So we are holding this year, 2025, as the 25th anniversary of the establishment of the strategic partnership between Russia and India. Along with that, we celebrate the 78th anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic relations. Important date is the 80th anniversary of the defeat of Nazism in Europe. We have conducted a lot of events dedicated to these occasions, receptions in the embassy, exhibitions, cultural performances. We had concerts. We have even some cosmonauts from Russia visiting India, you remember. In the recent 2 weeks, our leaders spoke twice over the telephone. President Putin congratulated Prime Minister Modi on the Independence Day. He offered his condolences over devastating floods in Kashmir, and he also shared the information, the contents of his interaction with the US President Donald Trump. Currently, Dr. Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister, is in Russia to co-chair IRIGC, Russia-India Intergovernmental Commission, today itself, on the 20th of August. So our meeting is very timely. So we are supporting our dignitaries in their conversations. And tomorrow, Dr. Jaishankar will be meeting Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. IRGC is the main mechanism of the Russian-Indian cooperation, practical cooperation, and to prepare the contacts of our leaders, which, as you may be aware, there are some information that by the end of the year, leaders will be meeting here in Delhi. No dates have been announced as yet. So, but this mechanism is the critical to prepare the substance of the current of the future engagements. Basically, based on the outcomes of the last year's summits. You remember that Prime Minister Modi visited Russia twice last year. The agenda, you will not be surprised by realizing that we have a very comprehensive agenda generally, and it will cover the issues of trade, investments, financial cooperation, energy cooperation, nuclear power, culture, infrastructure.
सारे प्रोटीन्स हाई क्वालिटी नहीं होते, गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड परफॉर्मेंस के लिए चाहिए ऑप्टिमम न्यूट्रिशन, गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड 100% वे। इसका मेन इंग्रेडिएंट है वे प्रोटीन आइसोलेट। एक्सेस कार्ब्स, फैट्स और लैक्टोज को वे प्रोटीन से आइसोलेट किया जाता है, इसलिए होता है फास्टर एब्जॉर्प्शन और मसल रिकवरी। गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड परफॉर्मेंस के लिए ऑप्टिमम न्यूट्रिशन।
Further delegation exchanges are very intense. One visit I would like to specify especially, this is the visit of the head of the Republic of Kalmykia. This is the Russian Southern Republic to India. Mr. Batum Hasikov, who is now in India, he visited Delhi. He is now in Bodh Gaya. The places of his program could really highlight the essence of his engagements with the Indian dignitaries, officials. So it comes in the context of the Republic of Kalmykia being the most western part of the world, which with Buddhism as a dominating religion. This visit comes in the context of the preparations for the third International Buddhism Forum, which will take place in Kalmykia and its capital city, Elista. We expect to receive and to welcome high-profile delegation from India. And we would like to highly appreciate and extend our sincere and deep gratitude to the Indian government, which graciously consented to provide Lord Buddha relics to demonstrate during this event. This is a very important gesture. All that engagements altogether are definitely providing a very good impetus to the development and deepening of our special privileged strategic partnership, which is of a long-term, forward-looking, equal, comprehensive, mutually respectful, and trusted, based on our national interests. The situation over the recent couple of years clearly demonstrates and confirms that the strength of our relations allows us to successfully adjust ourselves to whatever circumstances are there at the international stage. So I would probably stop here with these general remarks and invite all of you for our interaction. You are most welcome.
Colleagues, you are starting with the question as I informed all of you whose questions are in. I will do it with the mic, and we have maybe some time before those. So please understand that there are a lot of questions and most of them are double and tripled. Don't worry, I will answer all of them. So, Umar,
I'm Umar and I'm from I'm Siddiqui and I'm from the Sanctions Global. I have a question. What is the current trade with Russia, and given the forthcoming visit of President Putin, what would be the focus areas for expanding trade? And if you can talk about the critical minerals and rare earth.
So since we have the advantage of having a deputy trade representative, Mr. Griva, so let us give the floor to him because his expertise will give you a more detailed picture.
Thank you for the question. And we have really very stable growth in our trade. And definitely, first year after 2022, there was growth approximately 3 times. After that, 80%. Now we reached level, and we can predict that and forecast that usual growth in trade will be approximately 10% annually. Besides that, we see the tendency that now Indian export towards Russia is growing bigger and faster. Also we see that, first of all, oil, crude oil, it's the main item of our export, but nevertheless we see the tendency when number and range of goods, commodities is increasing. And besides that, we see that, and I wanted to highlight that despite political situation, we can predict that the same level of oil import, crude oil import, will be approximately the same. It's absolutely positive trend because Russia is a main supplier. But we see that the number of goods is also widening. And besides that, very important that India also increasing its export to Russia and machine tools, also electronic devices, and because usually we are saying that tea, rice, etc. But mostly and main items now are machine tools and pharma and chemicals.
I would like to add a couple of ideas for you to realize about the also big things which we are working on along with the trade and economic cooperation. It's everyday routine. So as you know, Russia is the 4th largest trading partner in India, and we, as Mr. Griva mentioned, we expect to remain at the same position given the current growth rates of our mutual trade. So, and along with the energy supplies, we are the leaders in fertilizers. We are supplying some agricultural goods. But as far as big things is concerned, we are moving towards the implementation of the leader's task stipulated last year about the reaching 100 billion trade by 2030, and all the measures will be taken in this direction. Then we need to reduce trade imbalance, which is currently about $60 billion. We will remove further barriers in trade. We will facilitate interaction between the business circles and to try to give a new push to alternative logistics corridors. like INSTC, like Vladivostok Chennai, which is functioning pretty well. And of course, we will further develop our payments and transactions mechanisms. Certainly among the big things, of course, is how we proceed towards the FTA between Eurasian Economic Union and India. A couple of things which we need to regulate, like labor migration, like investment treaty. So these are the picture which broadly covers our major areas of interaction in trade and economic sphere.
So, Mr. Krishnadas, I don't see your raised.
Thank you, Peter. My name is Krishna. I'm from Reuters. Mr. Motion, the question is, with US tariff on India 25%, how do you think India will be able to keep buying oil from you? And at the same time, defense purchases also difficulties arising for India. So how do you think that will work out in terms of what other mechanisms can you work on? You just mentioned rupee is something that will be acceptable to rupee trade, rupee trade.
See, definitely there are some mechanisms how to supply crude oil, and for my mind, now we can't discuss it because it's really very special mechanism how to do it. But only one thing is absolutely clear, that the percentage which Russia provides, approximately 40%. It's very important. It's a crucial share for Indian economy, and it means that the situation practically couldn't be changed.
I would like to support Mr. Gribo by saying that let's proceed from the facts that Russia is the biggest supplier to India of the crude oil. And India's demands are growing year by year, and certainly this is a perfect case of mutual accommodation and supplementarity of our economies. Absolutely. So this is not the first time while our trade and economic relations and our particular goods are threatened by external factors. But each and every time, I invite you to remember that we have managed to succeed and to find ways how we can further cooperate based on our mutual interests, national interests. So we are quite certain that our cooperation will continue.
How do you assess in general the impact of sanctions and secondary sanctions provided by the West on Russian-Indian relations at the moment? Thank you.
Well, as we all know, the sanctions are a tool of unlawful competition. It's always about double standards, a lack of trust, blackmail and pressure, as well as disrespect of national interests. Friends don't behave like that. You will never see sanctions imposed by Russia or within BRICS organizations where we together participate. Non-United Nations sanctions and secondary sanctions are illegal. They just weaponize the economy. Despite the tremendous sanction pressure on Russia, you could see the Russian economy is growing steadily. It means that you cannot exclude from the global economy such a big and important country like Russia with its tremendous energy, industrial and human potential. So meaning that sanctions fail, and moreover they hit those who are imposing them. We see that Europe right now is in recession. Some countries face deindustrialization. There is an employment crisis as well. That also leads to the lack of trust towards the global currencies like the US dollars and euro, and paving the way to use more national currencies in our settlements. As a matter of fact, according to the IMF figures, euro has lost its status as the second global asset in the world. You know, the gold replaced euro at the moment. Thank you. Сейчас, Петя, еще мы немножко добавим.
And just with what Mr. Babushkin said, really we see that after such pressure, we see increasing of cooperation because, and especially in financial sphere, for example, because payments in ruble-rupee became more and more safe when you can expect that there would be some blackmailing. Just the trend is that more pressure, more cooperation.
Sorry.
I'm going to read from ABZ. The question is, in the backdrop of the punitive tariffs that have been imposed by America, how significant will BRICS as a trading group be against these tariffs, and would BRICS collectively stand up against the tariffs that have been put in place? And also the fact you mentioned that settling trade in local currencies will be important. How significant will it be going forward in the backdrop of the tariffs that are advising?
Thank you. Yes, there are some discussion around that BRICS can respond collectively to the tariffs policy. This dialogue cannot be excluded because a lot of interested countries are there in order to find some response towards that. BRICS, as we all know, is a new mechanism of global governance. This is a platform to discuss and implement interests of the global majority. Cooperation. In BRICS, we have developed the culture of open partnership, open cooperation, and mutual respect and benefit. The membership of BRICS has doubled, and we have also developed the category of partner countries, which is also about 10 member states. So this is a huge number of countries which now represent around half population of the world. And according to the global purchase parity in GDP terms, GDP is overcoming G7. this figure for BRICS is about $77 trillion, but for the G7 is 57, $20 billion left. Trillion, sorry. So the trade within BRICS is growing against the backdrop of the current turbulence. For example, Russia's trade with BRICS partners has increased by 70.5% in the previous year. And the point is that the more challenging and unpredictable the global environment becomes, the more relevant BRICS becomes as a stabilizing force and a center of gravity for those who are seeking a mutually beneficial cooperation grounded in respect for sovereignty and diversity. Coming back to the what we have started with, the BRICS has proved itself as a trusted platform to talk about the global developments and regional problems. And we have developed a very robust coordination on and within the important leading platforms such as United Nations, G20, or FATF and others. While the challenges ahead are considerable, our collective potential forms a solid foundation to address the complexities of the 21st century to promote the truly multipolar cooperation from which all our countries will benefit. Thank you. Next, please. G.
From the Asian Chronicle. Thanks for taking my question. So just, we have seen the White House and the senior functionaries of the Trump administration making very vitriolic statements against India for importing Russian oil. And the main logic for that, according to them, is that they wanted to put pressure on Russia. And by taking one of the big clients out. This has this figured in the conversation between Russia and the US. We have just seen the summit, and though the main issue was the Ukraine conflict, but the very fact that the aim seems to be to put economic pressure on Russia. So have you taken up this matter with the US, and also have these conversations figured between the two countries? President Putin spoke twice this month to PM Modi. So how do you see this playing out? Do you see the Indian imports continuing, or do you think that you will take up this issue with Washington? Thank you.
Thank you, Sridharji. Well, leaders are not limited in their conversation between themselves, so they touch upon all the issues which are currently of a vital importance. We cannot exclude that everything has been touched upon. I haven't seen the official readout in the official readouts that these topics were specifically discussed. Maybe they were just not mentioned because, according to some media reports, the Trump has decided to postpone imposing sanctions on India, the additional 25%. I mean, just the tariffs, right? So, generally speaking, our take is that any kind of a trade protectionism policy provokes disputes and instability in the global trade, as well as violation of the most favored nation principles of the WTO. So, if the Indian goods are facing difficulties entering the US market, the Russian market is, would welcome Indian imports to the most extent possible. So don't worry about that. So as far as energy is concerned, indeed, so we see that actually that would be quite detrimental to the global economic stability and energy security. As we discussed before, Russia is the largest producer of oil. India is the largest consumer. Any kind of unilateral actions lead to disruptions in supply chains, lead to imbalance in pricing policies. So it would potentially lead to price hikes and destabilization of global markets and endangering energy security of developing countries, first of all. Moreover, let's keep in mind, as per the Russian experience, so if hypothetically India refuses from the Russian oil, it will not lead to the equal cooperation and mutually beneficial cooperation with the West in general, because it is not in the Western nature, which was clearly demonstrated in recent years. So they behave like neo-colonial powers, just exploiting and just thinking about benefit for themselves. So we can just agree that this pressure is unjustified and just indeed quite unilateral. Another observation is that a lot of pressure comes from the European Union. And as far as our estimate is concerned, the recent package of sanctions against Russia from the European Union, the 18th one, would not have much impact on the Russian oil trade, because during the recent years we have been able to significantly reduce our dependence on the services in this regard which the European Union is providing.
And also, main thing here that there is no alternative to Russian crude oil, because our crude oil is very competitive in price, and besides that, such volume really is significant. That is why practically it's very, very profitable for India due to price which we propose, and it's billions. It means that profit is very high. Profit is very high. And in such situation, I suppose the government, Indian government, absolutely understand that there is no chance. There is no chance to change for any other suppliers.
This is the week of food from ANI. How are you? Sir, India is singled out on this issue, on the secondary tariffs. How do you look at it that India is punished for buying Russian oil, and they are saying that India has been fueling war machinery? How do you look at these assertions, and what is the way out, if you can give us?
Is it the question about the Ukrainian crisis?
I wanted to ask you how this will affect, suppose India has to stop lifting oil from Russia, how will it affect overall relations? In case India is forced to, what impact will it have on relations? Thank you.
First of all, we don't expect that to happen. And second, whatever happens, we know the challenging circumstances for India, and the point is that this is the true strategic partnership which we are enjoying. That means that we have earned the trust in our relations. Whatever happens, even there are some challenges, even the problems, we are committed to remove them in the relations. We are able to sit together and honestly remove these problems and at least minimize their impact with due respect to national interests. So the problem of sanctions we have seen for many years already. But have a look, our trade is growing. During the recent couple of years, it has increased 7 times. It means that we managed to find the solutions to any challenging situations. Right now, we are at the verge of something historical happening globally. So, because when it comes to the leaders' conversation, probably there is signals that some changes are in the air in the relations between global powers, how we manage the security architecture globally and regionally. And of course, the especially recent telephone call by President Putin to Prime Minister of India, Modi ji, explaining and sharing the information about the recent developments around Ukraine, about this turbulent situation. That means that India matters very much to us. We are sharing, we are coordinating, and we are discussing everything. So we are absolutely capable to find any solution for the mutual satisfaction, because our cooperation, the deepening of our partnership, would help us to grow together. And just to make a small supplement to that, anyone in the world who is valuing its sovereignty and independence is at risk for the pressure from the West. That means just one thing: if West criticizes you, you are doing everything right.
Hi sir, this is Parikshit from CNBC TV. My question to you would be about our oil trade again. In overall growth, if I would ask you about this year, 2025, what is the kind of growth that we're looking at oil imports from Russia over last year? And secondly, could you give us a sense of the discount levels and what the kind of discounts that Russia is looking to offer in the coming months?
See, total amount of Indian refinery, if I'm not mistaken, 250 million, and 40%.
Is 250 million barrels per day, or what is 250 million?
Million tons.
Million tons. This is annually.
Annually in India, and it means that Russia provides 40% from this amount. Practically half. As for discount, see, it's a commercial secret, I think, because it's usually just dialogue between businessmen. And approximately, usually 5% discount.
5% discount on an average.
Hmm?
On an average.
Yes.
5%.
Yes. It's fluctuating, but nevertheless, usually plus minus.
My question is all the tariff pressure politics is going on. What is the upcoming projects, and especially in defense and energy sector between India and Russia? And one more thing that earlier we have seen so many cultural exchange also which were supporting the trade, other trades, but now it's missing. So any idea that what is the reason and what is the planning for that?
Про энергопроект скажете? Про энергопроект скажете?
Да я понял. As for energy projects, we have different ones, power machines, Hydro, and I mean we have just I can name companies. Power machine provides equipment for thermal stations. Hydro is elaborating now projects on the north of India in mountain area. Also, oil belongs to energy sector. So practically, energy sector is the most intensively developed between two countries. There are some more companies, but I think 3-4 companies it's enough. Okay.
Just
science starts here, and here, and here. You can find science here, and here, and here. But science is also here, here, and here. The real question is, where can you not find science? We don't know. But what we do know is, you'll find us wherever you find science. Together, we impact life and health with science.
Arctic zone and many others. So there is a very comprehensive picture of our energy.
One talk between India and Russia is going on railway sector also.
Railway, yes, absolutely. We participate in the Vande Bharat project. Yes, railway is a traditional area of partnership. Probably we are not mentioning that because actually everyone knows. But anyway, so this is indeed the very dynamically, dynamic cooperation in the railway sector as well, by constructing trains, by supplying equipment, by consultancies or sharing the experience, and moving towards the high-speed trains. So all the Russian capabilities are there for the Indian disposal. Then you are asking about culture. So it is one of the, this is one of the very exciting parts of our partnership. I like it the most, by the way. It is very deep and very intense. We have so many events happening around. So the cultural festivals are happening regularly. I will just mention to you the particular examples. So about the visit of the Republic communique, we spoke today in the morning, earlier days. So this is very strong pillar of our people-to-people partnership. Based on our inter-civilizational bonds around Buddhism. Then in July and August in Russia, we have seen very large Indian cultural festivals in Moscow, attended by thousands and even millions of people, very popular in Russia and very well received. Russia in the beginning of the year was the focus country in the Indian Book Fair. It was a great event which was attended by this Russian Speaker of the Russian Parliament, who simultaneously had the official visit to India. And we expect that India will take part in the Moscow International Book Fair as the main guest, which is taking place in September. We participated very actively, traditionally, in the Suraj Kund Mela as well. We are planning to have a large presence at the Dussehra celebrations. We are conducting regular official festivals of culture of two countries each year. By the end of the year, we expect the Days of Moscow in India to happen. The intensity of the exchanges between artists has grown. And for example, at the Central Museum of Moscow, Tsaritsyna, we are considering opening the Indian exhibition by India Crafts Museum. So along with that, we are getting more deeply involved in our cinema cooperation. Russian delegation was among the largest at the Waves Summit in Mumbai in May, right, which has produced a lot of agreements in this area between the governments and between the private companies. We have even produced this year. We have produced the joint film, which is called Pearl, or they call it in Russian Zhemchuk. So, which has won a couple of awards in Russia recently. So we do a lot. This is a very traditional part of our interaction, and which is very well received in both countries. This is the backbone of our strategic partnership, which has started much earlier than we have established diplomatic relations, because it was forever. We started learning about each other from books, from the exchanges, rather than from colonial wars, and that remains. Thank you.
So on the 15th of August, the Prime Minister stressed the need for a jet engine ecosystem in India. And India is very struggling with its jet engine. So will Russia be welcoming to assist India in this jet engine program? Since the Kaveri has been delayed, we see the trials, because of the war. So will Russia be willing to help us in a jet engine program?
Russia is a partner of choice for India for the defense potential of the country. And we have been all actively participating in Make in India campaign, even much before it has been announced officially. So since, as you know, since 1998, we are developing joint venture BRAHMAS, producing now best in the world supersonic cruise missiles. Since then, we have dramatically expanded the program of our joint engagements in the production of various, even sophisticated equipment, and jet engines is one of them. As far as we all know, we have agreed to jointly produce jet engines for Sukhoi jets here in India. And this is just one of the steps towards the further expansion and advancement of this cooperation. So whether India wants it to be with Russia or with the other partners. So it depends on India, of course, but Russia is all set to support India in its endeavors.
Here, please, I see you. Sorry for the second time for today.
I'm Vivian from Asian Express. So over the last few weeks, we've seen a lot of engagements between India and Russia, India and China. Has there been any serious conversation about the revival of RIC in China? And if so, when do you see that happening?
Thank you. Thank you. RIC's importance has never been questioned. When right time comes, it will be resumed. Russia hopes that it will happen rather earlier than later. As you know, Russia is a sincere well-wisher to the normalization of Indo-China relations. And that's why we welcome the very successful visit of the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi to India and interactions which took place in the recent two days at the highest level.
Next question is Danny Dragon, Mr. J. Prakash from Jen.
My name is Geopolitical from Tariffs. My question is about the state India-Pakistan relationship and how Russia is assessing the tension going on about this India's water treaty. And I'm asking you this question because one side you have a steady relationship with India, the other side your relationship with Pakistan is also growing. Thank you.
Russia is of clear stance that this is a bilateral dispute. And we welcome the agreement on de-escalation achieved between the two sides in May. And we support settlement of disputes by political and diplomatic means on a bilateral basis here. As far as the Operation Sindoor and the overall tensions between India and Pakistan is concerned, Russia has many times expressed its position. Our leaders exchanged their views on that when they spoke in May, on 5th of May, right before the operation. President Putin has decisively condemned the terrorist attack in Pahalgam in April and said that fight against terrorism should be uncompromised. So I would probably stop here.
So we continue the story. Mr. Carlo, please.
The Prime Minister talked about the missile shield during the Independence Day speech. Any Russian initiative on that? Would Russia help India with that initiative?
No, maybe air defense shield. Air defense shield.
Да, я же не знаю.
Sudarshan Chakra. Next time ask in Hindi, I would understand better. So, jokes aside, so again, just coming back to this important and very sensitive issue, this is about, how strong is the Russian factor in the Indian defense capabilities. Russian weapon is a natural choice for the Indian Army General, and just linking the two questions with the Operation Sindoor as well, that witnessed as a very successful battle test for the Russian systems, and S-400 was one of them. It naturally, it's already is a part of Indian air defense systems. So, and we proceed from the understanding that when it comes to the advancement of these systems, the Russian equipment will be part of it.
Russia, please. Sorry, China.
Namaste.
Surgeon from Salman. Trump tariff threats. To what extent it can impact Indonesia bilateral trade? One. Second is, do you think world is returning to post-secular era again in full polarization? And first, during the presidency of G20, India formed South Voice of South Global, so that third world countries are listened to. And our Prime Minister said many times that if time will come, we will be in the area. You think Voice of South Global and other countries will be alternative in the coming meeting?
Well, we don't see much negative impact from tariffs adventures against India to impact on, on Russia-India trade relations. Moreover, we will find the ways out, and if Indian goods are facing some barriers in other countries, the Russian market will welcome them to increase. So as far as the potential emergence of a situation which would look like a Cold War point two. So we in fact don't expect that to happen, because there is no desire for that among the global majority. The global south you have mentioned, we work on that together with other partners among this category of countries in the framework of BRICS, and there is important and forward-looking initiatives by Prime Minister Modi ji, the establishment of mechanisms of voice of global south. The Indian presidency in G20 was another attempt to attract attention to the needs and requests and interests of the global south countries in their dialogue with the developing countries, because this negative scenario would contradict the entire idea of multipolarity, which in fact should be based on a simple and unified basis, which is the central role of the United Nations and its principles of the Charter. First of all, sovereign equality of states and respect of each other. So, therefore, I think that that would just not accepted by the majority of the countries. So, if I understand your question correctly.
Sihan Mishra.
Хорошо.
Hi sir, I'm Shazam from CNN News 18. How are you? Sir, my question is, the Trump administration from last couple of days have been making this claim that additional 25% tariff on India perhaps played as a factor to bring President Putin to the tables in Alaska. So that's an American view. How do you look at this?
So, festive season ke kya plans hai? Diwali night done right. Indo fusion, perfect for the after party. And I'm ready for my family dinner. Har pal a different tune. Har pal on trend with Amazon. Traditional or fusion, if it's on trend, it's on Amazon. Amazon, har pal fashionable.
In fact, it was a breakthrough development because you could see the leaders of the leading global powers are sitting together and having a very warm, in-depth and very prolonged conversation. The agenda was a diversified one, so we are absolutely not about to link it to just one particular question. We talk about the restoration of the relations between Russia and the US, and for that rebuilding trust is one of the most significant tasks. For that point, the leaders' meeting was of a tremendous and critical importance, either for the bilateral relations or for the world in general. Certainly, they have discussed a lot of things related to the international situation about the crisis in Ukraine. They spent a lot of time discussing that, and as far as I've heard, we heard here in the mission, maybe it is also spread in the mass media as well, that after this meeting, which was, according to the assessments by President Trump, was very successful, very positive, and I think I heard that he decided to not to impose extra 25% on India. For the time being. So, according to the information which we are, which we are facing, spread in mass media, that after this, engagement between the two presidents, and President Trump decided not to impose extra 25% tariffs on India.
Media reports or your
media reports, according to media reports. I didn't see other reports.
Hi, good afternoon, sir. My name is Megha and I'm from Results. My question is about the SEO summit that is going to happen in London in China. What is the likelihood of a possible trilateral between the three leaders from Russia, China and India? And would there also be a bilateral that takes place between the Russian head of state and the Indian head of state? Also, what are the key areas of convergence between the three countries, Russia, China, and India at this stage?
Thank you very much. You're right. We are all preparing to attend the SEO summit at the highest political level. Quite recently, during the engagements with the Chinese foreign minister, in recent days, the Indian side confirmed the participation of Honorable Prime Minister Xi, attendance of the summit. There are also reports that we are preparing the bilateral meeting between Prime Minister Modi Ji and President Putin. As far as Trilateral is concerned, let's see, we are quite hopeful that this format will be resumed sooner rather than later, because its importance is not questioned. But we should wait until the right time comes. So anyway, we would welcome these developments, because it proved its efficiency when we had a regular interaction on the ministerial level and even at the leaders level. If you remember, before the pandemic, leaders of Russia and China used to meet regularly on the sidelines of G20 meetings. It would be natural to expect that at some point of time in the future we will have the resumption of this practice, hopefully. And as far as convergence is concerned, of course, the SCO is all about the regional stability in Eurasia, and which is mostly dependent on how the relations between the three largest countries in the region, Russia, India, and China, is developing. So more interaction, more engagements we will have, more common ground we will find in how we deal with the regional stability issues. So this is also closely linked to the Russian initiative of the establishment of the Greater Eurasian Partnership, which means that we should build the cooperation between the integration mechanisms, multilateral integration mechanisms in the region for the sake of undivided security. That means that someone's security should not be compromised at the expense of some other security. So that's why more dialogue, more benefit will be for all of us. Absolutely, that would be important to see that we have also.
इस डिब्बे में क्या है? प्यार भरी मिठाई की मिठास है, सजावट वाली खुशी की चमक है। इस डिब्बे में त्योहार वाली फील है, छोटी बड़ी तैयारी पे ढेर सारी डील है। Amazon, हर त्योहार बेहतर।
We conducted joint conferences and seminars, so which could potentially lead to the establishment of practical cooperation in other areas. So we are very hopeful that this format will establish itself. Thank you.
My name is Sajeev Kumar Bhagwan, and I am from the Week. So I have a query. How do you see the proposed Trump corridor between an Azeri enclave in Armenia and Azerbaijan, impacting the international north-south transport corridor, the INSTC, that is proposed to connect St. Petersburg with Mumbai?
Thank you, but I don't think that these two topics are interlinked. I don't think these two topics are, coming together, because the settlement between Armenia and Azerbaijan is one thing, the INSTC is another project. So they are different in nature, but in fact, you're right in one point that more stability we have in the region, more favorable conditions are there for the promotion and the implementation of multilateral projects like INSTC. In fact, when it comes to Armenia and Azerbaijan and Trump's mediation in this particular conflict, that we would say that Russia is interested in the establishment of the stability and prosperity in this region. Therefore, we are constantly supporting all the endeavors aimed at these goals and which would benefit the regional security. We take it positively. And we are hopeful that the promotion of this agenda would promote peaceful and inclusive environment in the region. But we would like to specify that the beginning of the normalization of the ties between Armenia and Azerbaijan was started with the Russian efforts in 2020 when we started trilateral engagements, and ultimately, so we have the situation which has developed today. So Russia remains an important part of this region. So we will deal with the countries, and we are ready to offer our good services if they are required at any point.
This is Ashi Sevi from Business India. I have a small question. When is President Putin likely to come to India? There must have been discussions about his coming this time since Modi went last year. And also about the rupee-ruble trade, how much of the existing trade between India and Russia is being done in local currencies? And one last question. These oil imports, the third, if you take it, these oil imports, are they done through the oil marketing companies directly or through traders? Because when India started to import oil from Russia, it was being done through traders and not directly through oil marketing companies. So I wanted to know if there's a change.
So, first question, no dates are announced yet, we don't know at the moment. Second question is about 90% of our mutual settlements comes in national currencies when it comes to direct payments. The third question is, well, it's something very specific, so actually it depends on each particular case if Mr. Grigor would comment on that.
Yes, as for sales, now practically we have direct supply and long-term contract between Rosneft and the Reliance, but mostly via traders from spot market. Mostly. Only practically two direct supply from Rosneft to Nayara and direct supply from Rosneft to Reliance. That's all.
Just one clarification. Direct trade, you mean government to government, right?
Country to country.
Country to country. So 90% of all trades.
I mean, company to company, well, organization to organization, so we need that kind of.
What do you further attention to the Naira issue? Naira has been sanctioned. Has there been any discussion between the Russian side and the Indian side of the Naira refinery, and how does Naira refinery therefore continue to operate?
You mean negotiation between
India and Russia? Have you discussed this at all?
But there is no problem with Nayara because it's direct supply from Rosneft to its daughter company. Only shipment insurance should be solved, but no.